Hello and welcome to the Movie Podcast. My name is Daniel and we are back.
Oh, a little poltergeist reference.
We are, yeah. And listen, we're back in the brand new studio and joining alongside me, that first voice you heard is Shahbaz. Hello, Shahbaz.
Hey. You know what's nice, man? I know people haven't seen our layout in a while, but we're chilling today. We're like in this like Zen kind of atmosphere, sitting on the couch. There's someone walking by giving us drinks.
Yeah.
It's a really good vibe in here right now.
I really wanted to give you guys a spot where we could be just like comfortable and like creative and also just cozy. I think cozy is the big thing for me. Like I wanted us to be
concerned though
cozy.
that Anthony did take off his shirt a little bit right when you first walked in.
Well, it's good.
That was
a
you?
false statement.
Well, there's no video, so no proof, right?
It's true. Anthony, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm relaxing on the couch, and I told Daniel to put like these little arms that would come out and have our mics right in front of our faces. We should attach them to the wall. So this could be our permanent setup for the next
and I think
5,000 years.
5,000 years.
I think they should be real arms as well, like a person's arm.
Yeah.
If you could.
What else do you think
Can
he
you
meant?
not hire people to just hold the mic for us?
I mean, we're a super successful podcast now,
right?
So we could just get people who will just hold their arms up to our faces, I guess, and hold mics for
people
us.
already are like, this budget is insane.
I would rather people like hold me up, like they
want you to
like
hold up.
those kings and queens from the Egyptian times. They would like put you on the throne,
pharaohs?
And then the pharaohs, and they would walk you. I want one of those every time I come to our studio.
Okay, I'll make a call for that. Do you also want me to get rid of the couch and just you could sit on top of someone instead?
Yes. No, I want the couch.
Oh,
I think. I don't know. I don't.
Well,
feel
Shay's
I was quick.
undecided.
I was quick to move on that one.
Yeah.
What
On
about
top of
grapes?
someone?
What about grapes? How are we feeling about like someone feeding us grapes?
Well, here's the thing. We do have that rule about not eating during the show, though. So
what, you don't like the sound of crunching?
I don't.
Someone
or
is
squishing,
talking?
more squishing because they're grapes, right?
That's true.
I always think of the steward of Gondor, who when he eats grapes and food like a fucking animal.
That's so
It's
gross.
like the sound effects.
When he eats was he eating the apple?
I don't know. He was eating like chicken. And
the chicken.
whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just like every time I think of someone feeding me, I think of him. I don't know why, but it's just the sound of his food going into his mouth.
It's like the swishes and the swirls of the food. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's pretty gross, I'll be honest with you. But I'm glad you brought up Lord of the Rings though, because it's actually been about 2 months to the day. Our last time we recorded together in this room was August 22nd, and we were talking about our experience in LA, covering the Rings of Power premiere and all of that. And now we are 2 months later. I didn't think we anticipated being off from the main episodes for this long, but it also was a snowball effect of the Lord of the Rings coverage into TIFF, into Black Adam, into Hocus Pocus and Werewolf by Night. So there was a lot happening on the show. So it's not like we were just gone for 2 months. We pumped out a lot of episodes in that time. Right?
Oh yeah, like the amount of work that went into the past 2 months.
Yeah,
we were doing like that. Just that amount of work was like a year's work for us in the past. So it's
true. Yeah,
it's just you can see how like we are growing and consistently reviewing and interviewing and reviewing and going on these experiences and then telling everyone about them.
We had a lot of people messaging us saying like, hey,
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Did they say that? Is that what they said?
They said that, and I was like,
I didn't get that. Can you try again?
And I was like, why are you messaging me this? Because I don't
Siri,
get it
man.
either.
It just doesn't work. Like Apple, if you're listening, Siri is completely broken. Any voice works with Siri now.
Well, I didn't even say those words though.
I know we had a lot of people saying, I didn't get that.
I didn't
Try
get that.
again?
Try again later. I'm like, I don't get it.
Oh, okay.
No, we had a lot of people messaging us saying, hey, where are the Monday episodes?
Yeah.
Bring them back. Well, one of the most public ones is from our Discord. We had Timo LS say, are the weekly main episodes coming back? And then you and I both said soon. And then he said, awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love the interviews and reviews, but the main episodes really are the heart of the podcast. The banter is immaculate. Thank you for that, because the banter.
He likes the banter?
He likes the banter because the comments that we get of like, get to the review.
Yeah.
Like, it always reminds me of when Fox News was like, LeBron play basketball. It's like, guys, stop talking.
Shut up and dribble. Yeah.
Shut up and dribble. Like, guys, tell us if the movie was good. If you want to know if the movie was good, listen to that part of the review. You can actually skip it. Like we have invented skipping.
Right. like skimming,
skipping, forwarding, whatever you want to call it.
But I also feel like you need the banter to get you into the type of mindset that we're in.
That way, you know,
it's like a complete package,
yes.
right? That's the thing.
A review isn't a review is always going to be subjective. So first, get to know your subjects before you get to the review.
Very true.
It's true. Or, you know, sometimes we'll have comments written like, oh, this is like a 20-minute episode, but your interview is only 5 minutes. I'm like, well, yeah, that's because we wanted to make it something you could enjoy listening to,
right?
Fill some time and talk to you. But no,
people don't listen to 5-minute podcasts. I don't know who's doing like a crunch version of a podcast.
You can't. And imagine if you watch it, because we have a lot of friends who listen to podcasts at double speed. So it's like a minute and you're gone.
How do people do that? How do people
who does
listen
that?
at double speed?
Is that a thing?
Right in. If you listen to the movie podcast at double speed, right into the show, because as always,
if they even got to
if you could even hear it, they're just hearing like as always, you can catch a brand new episode of the movie podcast every single Monday. We are back, and watch out throughout the week for our reviews and interviews and all the latest movies and series. Make sure you follow us at the Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. Right into the show at hello@TheMoviePodcast.ca. And please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. 5 stars would be amazing. Also, you know, as we always say, episodes in the Movie Podcast may finish, but the conversation doesn't have to end there. Join our Discord. We'll be reading out a lot of your comments, just like Shay did, because we have a great community of movie lovers and show lovers in there. Let's keep shining that.
Really do.
Let's keep the conversation going. We did have a correction right into the show. In our Black Adam review, Anthony said
Kendall.
You said it was
Kylie,
but Kendall. It was Kendall.
You know, they're all the same. But yeah, I knew when I was editing that video, I'm like, it's not Kylie.
Right.
Kylie is makeup.
Right.
And she's the more of the Travis and all that. I'm like,
right.
Fuck, I fucked the name up. And I'm like,
Travis,
that's Courtney.
That's Courtney.
You're fucking up again.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, Travis Scott, man.
Oh.
Get out of here.
Like a light.
We'll get a ruling. Judges.
That counts. Yeah.
That's on us. I bought judges for us, by the way.
I know. I noticed.
They're
so quietly sitting there.
They're just waiting. They just give us a thumbs up.
They're the birds.
They're the birds.
But yeah, that was from Christine. She wanted to let us know.
I knew while I was editing, I'm like, that I know that's
like, I'm gonna get a death threat for this.
How am I gonna fix this? How am I gonna like dub my voice into saying whatever? It is what it is.
At least your K names, and you knew.
Thank you for making me more aware of it.
Yeah, no, that's good. We always want to make sure we're coming correct, because we never get things wrong here on the Movie Podcast ever.
I don't think we did get that one wrong.
We need
I challenge it.
One thing that we do need is someone off stage, fact checking us, and then it would just prompt in front. That'd be wicked.
Is it like when president elects are are running, and they're like, yeah, we had a fact checker throughout the whole thing. That's
everyone was wrong.
If you want to be our fact checker during our show, please write into at the Movie Podcast.
You will need to live in the studio, though.
You will have to live. It's a live-in role.
It's a live-in role.
It's like Dobby.
Dobby?
Oh,
Dobby. You said it with like a British accent too. So I'm like,
like Dolby Atmos, I guess. Sure, yeah, maybe.
Quick announcements. We have a lot of amazing episodes that we have dropped in the time that we've been away from our main episodes. So if you want to catch all of our TIFF coverage, we've had some incredible guests, as well as Michael Giacchino, who's now a friend of the show. He said it himself. He's a friend of the show, so go check out that Werewolf by Night interview. We also recently had Aldous Hodge on the show talking about his time working on Black Adam with Dwayne Johnson and all of that. Thank you to our friends at Warner Brothers for making that happen for us. Aldous is such an awesome person, so we had a really great time talking to him. We also re-released all of our Raymond and Ray coverage from TIFF, so Shay was able to talk with Ewan McGregor and Ethan Hawke and Sophie Okonedo and Maribel Verdu. I spoke with Rodrigo Garcia, the director of the film. Go check that episode out, because we had a great time talking to them about the film, which we really enjoyed. We also have a review out from TIFF, and I also want to say you may have been hearing us talking about Mubi in our previous episodes. We've been really excited to partner with them to bring you some ads on the show. The first time we've really run ads on the show. They've been great partners so far. So if you want to get a whole month of cinema for free, where you have just incredible movies at your fingertips, check out our show notes below. We have links to everything we're talking about today, as well as our link for you to get a month free of Mubi. It's worth it. You want to check this out. You don't want to miss this chance. But there was something that we did get to attend 2 weeks ago at this point. Dwayne Johnson did descend upon Toronto and we got to attend the Black Adam Rocks Canada event. Again, thank you to Warner Brothers Canada for inviting us. Anthony, I'd love for you to start us off. What did you think about getting to see Dwayne Johnson in person, and how was the event for you?
Well, seeing The Rock it was something that I didn't expect to see in my lifetime that close.
Yeah, we were like 5 feet away
I would have
from
watched him in a wrestling match, maybe from the stands, or we see him in movies, but like he was 2 feet away from us, 3 feet. And
you could smell what The Rock was smelling like that day.
The people that were there treated The Rock like he was Superman.
Yeah.
You know that scene in Batman versus
Black Adam? Oh.
Batman versus Superman. And he's just like, Superman's in the air, and like people are like giving them babies and
in Mexico,
whatever.
right?
Yes. Yeah. That's how it was. And you literally saw people give him letters and flowers and
show their tattoos.
And show tattoos that he inspired in them. And it's just, wow. I was a little like shocked the amount of fan base he has, and not just like I love The Rock, but like treating him as like almost like this idol, this icon that he is.
Yeah, he has.
That was the whole thing about his character in the wrestling. He was like this wrestling icon, but like, literally almost like a religious icon.
It felt like that, right? It's like Jesus was coming to 100% to town, right?
But yeah, like it was a little crazy in there. I think we positioned ourselves right in front of the speaker. And I think I lost 5 years of hearing just because the music that the DJ was playing was a lot of like rock.
It was a lot of rock music.
And rock music, it has guitar strings screeching at times, but the speaker was just right in front of me.
Right.
And it would hit like a certain level, and I would just lose all hearing.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was a really cool event. The venue was a little tight, just
for 900 people to be in.
For 900 people, COVID has happened and now it's gone, but you still have this worry about what's
I'm surprised
who's standing in front of me, who's behind me.
I'm surprised none of us caught any type of like cold or anything.
Don't jinx it, guys.
But there was this one guy, he kept yelling, like he was like, "Fucking,
I got COVID."
He was like, he didn't yell that. No,
at least 100 feet, and he kept yelling, "Rock, can I get a selfie?
Yeah.
Rock, can I get a selfie?"
Remember that guy?
I'm like, dude, you're like so far away. He's not gonna pick you. There's like a million other people in front of you that he's gonna pick. But he was just yelling, and I'm like, he's just spreading whatever is coming out of him. But these are things that you're now more aware of.
You are, personal space.
Yes.
Like it was a crazy event, and I think it reminded me of the before times. Which I was like, oh, this was fun to have an event that is like this, because it's been so long since we've had something like that. And again, when it comes to these type of events, Canada is always sometimes, Canada could be forgotten about, right? Like they'll do it in big like cities, like you'll see New York, you'll see Los Angeles, you'll see other places in the world, but it's cool to have something happen here. And again, Toronto is going to be the city that it's always going to happen in, so we may have listeners across Canada be like, yeah, you guys in Toronto get everything. And it's true, Toronto does get everything, but when you have someone of the status like Dwayne Johnson coming, and it's a huge event like this, it's nice that it happened, because it could have easily not had a Canadian leg of this tour. And it's if there's one thing Dwayne Johnson is going to do, is that he is the ultimate seller of whatever movie or show or product that he's part of, right?
That guy was everywhere. Like I was watching YouTube, and he was on Good Morning America, he was in New York, he was in Toronto, he was here, he was there, he was in celebrating
Roblox.
People with charities, and he's gonna like,
that dude is always working.
Bring all these kids to watch Black Adam. I'm like, where does he find the time to do it? Like, and then he's also working out, and he also has his own family life and all that. So it's just.
Do you think The Rock has a clone? Do you think
like at this point,
a cologne or a clone?
Does The Rock have a cologne?
No, he does not.
He would.
I feel like one day he
how
will.
could you not? Your catchphrase. Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Like, why do you not have?
Dude,
a
he's
cologne?
listening right now, and he's like, "That's a $1 billion dollar idea."
But you know what the name would be?
What would the name be?
Le Rock. That's it.
Oh,
Le Rock, because it sounds fancy in French. I was hoping that hit harder. Shay, how was the event for you?
You know what? The event was great for me. Thank you for asking. Great food.
The lightning burgers.
The lightning burgers. I
Yeah,
wish
the
I
lightning
got
sliders.
to look at the lightning before I
you
ate it.
You just devoured it.
I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty hungry, and we were waiting out in the cold for a little bit too.
Oh yeah.
So I wasn't fully prepared. Like I wore like a very light jacket. I was like, oh, I should be good.
Let's mark 15 minutes on the clock for Shay mentioning something about the weather in this episode.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
I'm like, what did he say wrong?
I'm like, what did I say wrong? Did I say something offensive? You know, we're talking about the weather here anymore.
Yeah.
But it was a little cold, so I was like, okay, let me get inside. And as soon as I got in, I tried eating things right away to warm my body up.
And then you missed. Man, I wish it was colder.
And then you know what? We got to the front, and like I know what I had to expect because people were shoving and pushing like crazy.
Yeah, of course.
when
It
The
was
Rock
like a
showed up.
concert, man.
Yeah, it really was. It was a fun event. There was this period where they did rock paper scissors. And this one group of people, for some reason, couldn't grasp the game.
Right.
And it really confused me. I'm like, is this a new game? Have they changed the rules? They hadn't.
They would like count down, and then nobody would do it.
Yeah.
And then there was that other person too who like kept her hand behind her back.
hand.
And I was like, I
That's
don't trust
sneaky.
you.
That's sneaky.
Yeah,
No,
because you can change it while you're coming out, right?
when you're on the fly, right? So you, like I'm showing my example of like
It's like a gun.
yeah.
drawn.
Yeah.
So I'm like no. Hands in the
Always
in the middle.
hands out front, yeah.
And
Are
hands out
were
front.
these people not kids at one
But
point?
also, both
No.
these people lost, by the way.
They did, yeah.
So, I mean, I guess karma.
There it goes.
Taylor Swift, you know? I haven't listened to the album yet, so I
Joel
apologize.
Alwyn, boyfriend.
It's a good album. I'm not
good
gonna lie. It's a good album.
I will listen
the
to
song
it.
was the song Midnights? Was
That's the album's name, yeah.
That's the album name.
What was the big song? Was it Karma? The song
Karma
that
was
came
a
out?
big song, and also, you're talking about God's Angry? What's it called again?
I don't know. God's
I
Angry.
haven't got to the point where I memorized
I'm like, is it God's?
I don't think
There's whatever I heard. Like this was like the big track off the album. Like because I was listening to the radio this week, and I was like, oh,
The radio?
the radio.
Why were you on the radio? Was the internet down? Were you on?
Yeah, I was using an antenna just to. Is anyone out there? Please.
98.3.
Lavender Haze? Is Lavender
That doesn't
Haze?
sound
Is that
like
a
song.
flavor of a drink?
Yeah. Is that the
Maroon
Rock's
and
cologne?
Anti-hero. Like I haven't gotten to the
Anti-hero.
point where
Anti-hero's the big one
It
with the
could
video.
be, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is a
remember
bop.
that.
I mean, Taylor Swift is always going to make bops.
She's gonna
but
be
it's
bops for
just-
sure, yeah. Where's Swifty?
But she's a really good songwriter, though.
She's
That's
great, yeah.
That's
She's
the
a
thing.
great
Like,
songwriter, yeah.
You know, there's the thing about Taylor Swift is, and I know we're going off topic. here.
Listen. There's no Taylor Swift slander on this
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Don't
It's just
worry.
The fan base can be very toxic, so that's how.
I think though,
like, that's with
honestly
any
now,
fan
though,
base,
That's
any fan
any fan base
Yeah.
now. Like there's the loudest voices are the most toxic, but the good thing is they're the smallest group. Though.
Yeah, we're friends. We're basically friends with Taylor Swift because we had Joel Alwyn on the show.
Absolutely.
Who's her man.
Her man.
And also wrote some of the
Six
songs
mans.
on this album. So
Oh, he wrote some of the songs, eh?
yeah, he's a
Ah, bloody
contributor.
hell.
Yeah, so
that's great.
Were they period songs? Like like
Were they period pieces songs?
Sorry.
They're like
I wrote
old
this
medieval.
song- I wrote
Yeah.
the song like I was in 13th century England.
What's that old medieval like a string instrument that they always play? Not a harp. It's almost like a
mandolin.
harpsichord?
harpsichord, mandolin.
Harpsichord is more like a piano. Mandolin is like
What's the one? Like, it was,
Oh, a harp.
It's not. It's the harp.
I know, but it doesn't sound like it's not a fully
It's
harp.
The sound you
like-
were making made it sound like a
It's
harp.
like I know the
You're like-
sound that I
you-
did.
you sound
I'm
like you're
it's
going
harp,
in-
harp, 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 harp,
You
harp.
sound like you're going to a dream sequence. You're like,
Yes.
"Do-do-do-do-do-do."
I don't know what I'm trying to talk about. Anyways, I'm not from that era.
No.
But no, I had a great time at the Black Adam Rocks Canada event, and it was great. It was wicked.
We're going to be talking a lot more about The Rock very soon. Sorry, Anthony. You
A
had
little
something to
fact about The Rock: it has Canadian roots. So
Yeah.
I think that's why he also chose Toronto.
Yeah.
being
His dad was born here, right?
Dad was born here. I think he's like half. He's a Canadian citizen as well.
The Leafs won that night too.
Yeah, and he's now a Maple Leafs fan. I think Daniel was ecstatic that he wore the jersey.
He brought us luck that night, right?
He did.
Yeah, he brought
did.
us luck that
Can
night.
he be the GM of the Leafs?
I mean, he could be the
That's what
GM of the Leafs. He could be the DC film chief.
Dude, this
what else
guy-
does this guy want to do?
He's president. Why didn't you just
President
make
is
him
everything.
literally the king of the world?
Yeah.
The Toronto Maple Rocks? Do you think they would call it? Do you think they would
Well,
call
they
it?
already
would
have the
change
Toronto Rock, right? For
100% next year, the Maple Leafs advertising is going to be the Rocks
Do you think the Rock knows about our lacrosse team though,
tequila.
Yeah.
or do you think anyone else knows about our lacrosse
I mean,
team?
it would be a shame if, here's the thing. Us being in the game that we're in and loving branding and these marketing opportunities and like that, it'd be a shame if someone from the Toronto Rock didn't get the Rock to do a video for them since...
He did a lot of videos. Like so many relatives of my family have sent me the video of the Rock saying Pakistan versus India for cricket.
Yeah.
Like First of all, I didn't even know he made that, but he made a video just like the same thing that he's been doing, like about Roblox and everything else. Like he did one saying like the greatest rivals on earth.
Did you see that Roblox version of him? I'm like, yeah, I want to play this game now.
But like, it's just crazy, and like how many things that he did. So if Toronto Rock didn't do it, come on, man.
You know those commercials you see on TV where they sell like used cars? He was on one of those too, like just promoting Black Adam.
He was in the Oliver's jewelry commercials too.
Oh no!
Yes, 100%. The guy's everywhere.
For those that don't know, Google Oliver Jewelry Toronto commercial, and you're gonna be in for
the Cash Man.
I'm the Cash Man.
We're gonna get sued if you sing the whole song though.
Yeah, that's probably like
He's here actually. I think
he's here.
He's on my side. He's like
guys,
Michael
I also
Myers.
afforded him.
Yeah, he's like Michael Myers outside waiting.
He's a special guest today. Something else I want to talk about with you all. We're going to talk a little bit about. We won't go too in depth with it, but the three of us are all playing God of War Ragnarok. Of course, this is provided to us by PlayStation. Code provided by PlayStation, just to cover. Is
that your fine print voice?
That is a code provided by PlayStation. We do have to I think acknowledge that. So thank you, PlayStation Canada, for making this happen for us. We don't cover video games a lot on the show, but we do when it comes to these giant cinematic releases. Last of Us, we have a review for. God of War. These type of games we love talking about because they are so cinematic. We are allowed to talk about our initial impressions of God of War Ragnarok. I know we are all in different places right now, but very, very, again, choose your words wisely because we're not allowed to spoil anything, obviously. But I think my clock right now, well, I won't say how far I'm into it, just to cover our bases. All I will say is really enjoying it. The game looks gorgeous. It very much is a continuation of what 2018 did, but I do think it will reach a point where we're like, okay, here's the game we are now telling. Shay, you've played a little bit of it as well. How's your experience been so far?
Yeah, I would say about the same as what you kind of just said there. I think what I love so far about the game is that it starts off right away. Like there's not a minute to spare. It kicks off. It goes into high gear, and not only does it like introduce action right away, but it introduces an emotional point in the game that I'm like I just hit start. Like why am I already crying?
Why am I crying already?
Like what is going on? But you're right. It very much is a continuation of what we got in 2018. You know, good or bad, take that as you will. Since we love the first game, to me it's good because that way I get to continue what I loved about the first one. And there are some quality of life improvements that they've introduced, which is great. But you're right. I think there is going to be a point in the game where it's like,
here we go.
This is the game.
Yeah.
Anthony, how about you?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think the one thing I love about God of War is not even the gameplay or anything like that. It's more of the story.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And the story between Kratos and his son. And I love where they're going with it now that he's in an older stage.
Yeah.
And the last time we kind of had them together, his son was a little bit of a brat you probably remember at the end.
Yeah, the god complex,
he killed
right?
One of Thor's sons. Like he literally slit his throat. So you see him much more mature and he listens to his father more. He understands, and I think that relationship has kind of grown.
Right.
So I like that. It does feel very similar to what I've just played. So I'm curious to see where this game leads me because I'm not that far in. But I think for anyone who played God of War, they should play it again just so they can remember the controls.
Right.
Play it the 2018 version, get familiar with it because those controls will just work well when you're playing this game again.
Right.
And just understanding the menus because it's very similar in that sense.
Right.
But I just enjoy, God of War. Like it's a game that can't be bad in my eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
the control, everything feels so fluid about it, and the controls and the story's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like you're playing it, and it's like you're watching a movie that you love.
Yeah.
You know what I
Is
mean?
this the same director as the first
So
one?
this is a different director. So obviously Cory Barlog is the creative director of the game, but the director of this game is Eric Williams. So this is still from Santa Monica Studios, though. Bear McCreary, who obviously just did the Rings of Power and who did the score for the first game, is back doing the score for this one, which is incredible. Some things that you touched on, I think Atreus being a little bit older, obviously Sonny Selchuk, who
sounds so
deeper.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Makes me want to rewatch Mid 90s though, because he's so good in that.
So good.
And then every time I would watch Mid 90s, I'm like, oh, it's Atreus, like because he just sounds like him.
Yeah.
And it's weird seeing people get older. Like I just saw Jacob Tremblay.
Yes, send me that picture.
I sent you that picture. He posted like a before and after, and I'm like, Jacob Tremblay in my head is always going to be the kid from The Room with Brie Larson.
But I'm glad he grew into his looks. Like some kids, when they have that baby face look, they grow up.
They're ugly. Yeah, you're right.
Ugly. Baby face.
They're hideous to look at. I know.
He looks really good as a young adult at this point.
Yeah, he looks like he's keeping that boyish charm so far. But I think God of War Ragnarok is going to be everything you could hope it could be. It's an expansion of what the first game was. It's a further exploration of the father-son dynamic, and it just plays incredible, and it looks incredible. We're all playing on PS5. We're all playing in performance mode, so 60 frames. It looks so good. It's almost off-putting of how I'm like, how can you make this look this amazing? You know what I mean? Like it really is, I think, pushing the PS5 what it's capable of. And if we're seeing what the PS5 is capable now, and apparently this game is going to look and run great on PS4, I can only imagine what future games are going to look like that are just console exclusives that are really going to push the
because this game was really developed for the PS4 as this priority console. So like, really, are they taking advantage of everything the PS5 can offer in terms of the actual
like the processing power?
There's like zero loading in this game.
It's scary.
There's zero loading.
As soon as I died, it's like checkpoint instantly.
When you get I can't wait for that moment where we can, like, the whole world has PS5s. I know it's still like a hard console to get, but once they start making games that are dedicated to the PS5, like Ratchet and Clank, which I think was visually stunning.
Yeah,
what a game!
Fantastic. I can't wait for that moment. Can't wait, because it's going to be.
We're going to get that with Spider-Man 2, luckily.
In Spider-Man 2.
Oh boy, can't wait. So that's a bit of our God of War impression so far. We will have a full spoiler-free review November 3rd at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So look forward to that very, very soon. Because there's lots to look forward to. I'm just so happy to be back in the room with you guys.
Yeah, I know that like you guys were against wanting to come back, or mostly Daniel. He's like Monday episodes. Burn 'em.
More like dead episodes.
Well, like one day they will cease to exist.
What?
Just like we will.
Just like we will. In the sands of time.
Oh, that's sad.
Because we'll be on our thrones, man. Like, what? Did you not listen to this?
Are human thrones or which ones?
I don't want human thrones, man.
You don't want human thrones? Okay. Siri, cancel the human thrones.
Oh no,
I'm scared she's going to go off.
She's going to be like adding human thrones.
Should we talk about the Rings of Power event that we went to?
We can 100%.
Why not?
Talk about the Rings of Power.
That was
guys. This is our show. We're talking about whatever you want.
Look how relaxed we are right now. We're in this.
Rings of Power that we
Man, Siri.
What is she saying?
Did you change yours to recognize any word?
Yeah, I've been recording all your voices.
Yeah. But she was talking about it too, which is
like,
crazy.
It was a good event. Siri, were you there?
So that's a great point you brought up. So we went to, after literally the same day as the Black Adam Rocks Canada event. Also, whoever decided the name of that, phenomenal, because The Rock, Black Adam. Beautiful.
Might have been The Rock.
May have been The Rock. Beautiful marketing, beautiful branding. So as soon as we finished that, we went right over to Prime Video Canada, who were so nice to invite us to a celebration of the finale.
A taste of Middle Earth.
A taste of Middle Earth, where we got to, it was one of the most beautiful events. If you go to our socials, you'll see all of our coverage of it. But we got to, have different meals inspired by the foods of Middle Earth, created from Chef Marcus Samuelson. Mm-hmm. Who, it was delicious. It was such a fun time, and what an environment it was too, right? It was
absolutely,
it was unreal.
It was very cool. Yeah,
like I think when and a lot of it is unexpected because we went to the event in LA, and then when we went to this event, it felt very similar. Just the way that it was set up. You had like these two elves, and they had a scroll, and they were looking up our names. And
like
said,
where are we sitting at?
Who are you? What do they call young people in Lord of the Rings?
Youngos.
Youngo. And they were like, oh, okay, I see you here, you're allowed in. It was just little things like that just made this whole event feel like it's just a really
Authentic.
cool
It's authentic,
Really,
yeah.
experience.
It's those little attentions to detail that really take it to the next level.
Absolutely.
And then our table was just, they had like the trees from Linden.
Yeah,
and
nicer than any wedding I've ever gone
and they
to.
had like these.
No offense to our friends.
Yeah.
No, guys, step it up
Step it
because
Yeah, for sure.
unreal.
They had like a band that came from Middle Earth. I felt like,
Yeah.
where do they
Yeah.
find these like
Yeah, Mumford and Sons, I believe. Yeah.
Mumford.
these Mendo people? Like they're just
What?
like
Mando people.
What's a Mando person?
Yeah, they were just playing like classical
mandolin.
guitars and the mandolin, and they
Yeah.
were playing like covers of like
Yeah, this song's from 1803.
this is a Lil Nas X song.
like
Oh,
1400s, dude. Like that's how I felt. Like it felt like that time period.
yeah, it was a beautiful event. It was a lot
very,
of
very
fun.
cool.
Yeah,
No,
so-
and it took place in Toronto's historic distillery district. So I recommend looking that up if you're not from here, because it's a beautiful area and you can see the atmosphere through the pictures.
yeah, so we had a lot of fun with that. Thank you again to our friends at Prime Video for inviting us. We loved working with them, and it was a great time. It was a really, really great time. And of course, our topic of the show today is all about our Halloween movie recommendations. But without further ado, for the first time in 2 months, let's get to the news. Oh, like we were never gone.
Like
that felt
the
good.
cobwebs have been taken off.
That was wonderful. Let's get to the one and only news story today. The only thing that matters today. DC at a turning point. James Gunn pitches secret movie, and Dwayne Johnson flexes his Superman power. This is coming from the one and only Boris Kitt of The Hollywood Reporter. Welcome back, Boris. With the release of Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam and DC Films' Walter Hamada quietly ending his tenure in the coming days, DC is charting a course into truly unknown territory. Johnson is publicly touting his vision for a future Black Adam versus Superman movie, with his words stoking fan desires to see Henry Cavill return as the Caped hero. Full disclosure, we're talking Black Adam spoilers today. So if you have not watched Black Adam, if you don't want to be spoiled by anything, now's the time to leave. Superman, aka Henry Cavill, is in Black Adam. He is in post-credit scene. He is.
You think?
He is. No, we know. No, he's there. So yeah, Henry Cavill is back as Superman. What does this mean? We don't know yet. But yeah, going back to the story, Matt Reeves is plotting an expansion for his Batman universe, while J.J. Abrams remains in the mix as well with his own plans. James Gunn is angling for his own new DC project or two. While it isn't clear what hero or teams Gunn is targeting, the writer-director would focus on a second season of Peacemaker first. The studio's eyes are very much set on Superman. Meanwhile, in Gotham City, filmmaker Reeves is quietly making his own expansion plans. The filmmaker is meeting with writers and directors to build out movies focused on Batman's rogues gallery, both established and more obscure, with characters ranging from Scarecrow to Clayface to Professor Pig. It is unclear where Superman moves leaves Abrams, who is still on track to produce Coates' movie centered on the last son of Krypton. So if you remember, I believe it was last year, we were talking about how they were looking to develop a Superman movie from kind of like Van Elseworlds that would focus like on a black Superman movie, which is interesting with J.J. Abrams producing that. We don't know if that's happening anymore. There's a lot to unpack. Also, a Professor Pig movie would be terrifying, which would fit very well, I think, within the Reeves verse of Batman characters. Shay, jump in here. What are your thoughts on everything happening with DC? Is Henry Cavill officially back as Superman? What are your thoughts?
Look, I don't want to sound negative at all, but I think I'm just at a point with DC where I'm like, if you got it, show it. Like it's been a lot of talk for so long. I know that we're under new leadership now. Walter Hamada's out, and people will have their feelings about that, however they want, and that's fine. But show us something, because for so long, I mean, this cameo that we were going to get in Black Adam was also going to be a headless one. So at that point, they were going to go through with it no matter what, right? So what does that really mean? Like, bringing Henry Cavill back is fantastic. We really didn't think we'd see the day that he'd be back into this universe, but I don't know. I need to see, like, I need the credits to roll on something. I need trailers to be out, because I'm still kind of burnt by them canceling Batwoman Oh,
Batgirl.
Batgirl, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Batgirl. I'm still a little upset by that too because we would have gotten Brendan Fraser, we would have gotten Adil and Bilal's vision.
We would have had Michael
Leslie
Keaton
Grace,
back, you know, like
so there's just a lot that they're doing which is great. And I mean, Black Adam wasn't a home run at all, and it kind of still falls within the same quality that DC has been pumping out. So I really am curious.
Doesn't it come off like unprofessional? Like this whole like DC world that they've created, like it just
it's a mess.
It's such a mess. It's like if we were to make this world, we would be A, fired, B, blacklisted, and C, like be called unprofessional because this is a studio who's just willy-nilly doing whatever they want with these characters, but not having some sort of cohesiveness to the whole world.
Right.
With Henry Cavill coming back, that means there's the Snyderverse or the Snyder world that he created is coming back. Am I wrong, or is that just a different Superman?
wrong.
No, you're not wrong, but I think it just means like within Black Adam as well, we see Amanda Waller, we see Jennifer Holland, right?
Yeah, but I can't remember her name, but I'll look it up.
Oh, like the character name?
The character name.
Yeah, sorry, we see Viola Davis, we see Jennifer Holland, but like we see characters who have been established in the DC before, just like in the Suicide Squad, we have Margot Robbie and Joel Kinnaman come back from that. So I think it's them just being like, okay, this didn't work before, but we can pivot and now tell better stories with them. We can't change what's happened before, but I see Henry Cavill coming back as hopefully them planning to do a Superman movie, right? Because he looks a little different. He has the curl, which got me excited. He has the yellow on his suit is a lot more prominent, which was always one of my criticisms with the Man of Steel logo. But you have John Williams' score, which is also the score that they used for Superman in a variation in Justice League by Joss Whedon. So I'm just like, it's that same DC thing as we always say. This just raises more questions than answers.
Do you think they planned that, or was it just something that
planned which part? Sorry,
the whole like the yellow on the chest or the John Williams.
I think those were changes that they were trying to make him like, let's make him more recognizable as Superman.
Right.
So they could be like, yeah, the Zack Snyder days were before, and now this is like the post Zack Snyder Superman. Like this is Superman who's died and come back already.
Amelia Harcourt is her
Amelia
name.
Harcourt.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, thank you for
Peacemaker
that.
and Suicide Squad.
Which again, it was cool seeing them. It made the universe feel a little bit more cohesive. But like we said in our review, a lot of the issues that I have with Black Adam and like and things like that are more of a failure of the DC universe, where it's like the Justice Society has been chilling here this whole time, but like it made it seem like Justice League was the first time we had these heroes come together. So it's a lot of just like weird like continuity things that like these characters weren't established, so we really didn't know who they were.
We really kind of do need like a ground up like relaunch, but it's way too late now. Like they're just really digging themselves a hole and hoping that will.
They're
come
just
out
hope
the
the course corrects itself right at this point.
And
right?
The Rock is really promoting that the Justice Society came before the Justice League of
they predated the Justice League.
He kept saying that, but I'm like, those are only two people from the Justice Society. Like you don't have Green Lantern, you don't have the Flash, which were like I think is who played the Flash again?
Jay Garrick
and Alan Scott, right?
Yeah.
And there are other characters that are part of that. So it's like you only have two people of this Justice Society, and you're making it. You really don't have the full story, and he's planting that seed in your head, like
you should care about them more because they came first, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's such a Jeff Johns thing, though.
Yeah, I just
Justice Society is a very Jeff Johns thing.
Yeah, and again, like in the promotion too, they were saying like the Justice Society, we want to introduce new heroes, but in my head I'm like, can you just show us a good Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman working together? Like, because you know what I mean? Like, it's like we're so focused sometimes on introducing these other characters, but it's just like, no, just do these characters well.
Right.
And it's wild to me that, going back to October 2014, I remember Marvel having that event where they announced the rest of Phase 2 and Phase 3. That was almost 10 years ago at this point, where we're in a spot with DC where it's like, okay, what is your plan moving forward? What's the next 5 or 6 years look like? I think on the Matt Reeves side, I'm not worried at all because we have the Penguin show coming. The Batman was amazing. And we'll have hopefully, it'd be cool to see a Clayface or a Professor Pig in that world, because I feel like you could do those like in a really interesting way.
Right.
But it's like the grander DCEU, or it's mostly Superman, where it's like people just want a Superman movie.
So what's the Batman we're getting in the DCU? Is it going to be
It's Ben Affleck,
right?
yeah. It has to be because like he's been reshooting stuff, right? And I think them canceling Batgirl is them removing Michael Keaton out of whatever he was in Aquaman, which is crazy to think that movie was supposed to be this year too. Same as The Flash. We still have The Flash coming next year and Aquaman. So who knows what that grander picture looks like? I just wish they had a roadmap for us to be like, this is what for you to get excited about. Henry Cavill is back as Superman, but there's no movie. There's no movie greenlit.
That's why I'm not excited.
I'm laughing right now because I keep remembering. All you remember is Ben Affleck saying, "I'll never play Batman again.
I'm done."
And he is in Aquaman, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna do a movie. I think right now he's just on a better. Like he's in
healing.
His life,
he's healing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of healing gone through him. And,
those were dark days for him, right?
And now he can like really focus on this Batman. But it sucks because you have Matt Reeves Batman, which is that was a Batman story a lot of people wanted with Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
right.
Because I also feel like people were a little burnt. Like, yeah, Ben Affleck was cool in Batman vs Superman as like this grizzled Batman, and he was badass. But he wasn't really anything more than that, right? So they're like, oh, we finally got a great Batman movie again. And then people saw him in Justice League, and he's like, oh, like, this dude's like invincible, basically, in that movie, right?
Yeah.
So, and he has guns, and he has like laser, like, it's just such a mess. And you go back and like, hold on, what do people want? What, like, the Zack Snyder Justice League, or do they want something of their own? Like, I don't know where this universe is going at.
I want the Matt Reeves Batman.
Yeah.
And I want that to continue. I do want a Ben Affleck Batman, but I think it all comes down to who's writing it and who's directing it. Because when 100%. You have people like Matt Reeves who, like, clearly he's creating his own universe.
It's his, that is a director-driven project, right?
Yeah. Right? He's so passionate, and he understands the story. He's not Zack Snydering it in the sense that, oh, I read this comic and I'm going to make this comic.
But I want to do it like Zack Snyder is very director driven too, but he has a very distinct vision to it, where Matt Reeves, I think, like what you're saying, has such a character focus to it.
Yeah.
And he'll bring his style to it as well too, where I think where you look at Black Adam doesn't feel like it's a director driven movie.
Yeah.
It just feels like anyone could have been in the director's chair and brought that to life. It felt very much just like The Rock's vehicle, right?
Right, and absolutely. And I think that's where I'm kind of out with it as well, where, yeah, Affleck is healing, but the DCEU hasn't healed yet. So for Affleck to come back and then get burnt out again and then feel the shit of it all, like, I don't want that either.
He's got J-Lo now, man.
Yeah,
J-Lo's like...
But love don't cost a thing, dude. Like,
J-Lo got him on that good track,
Yeah.
On that good.
Well, we'll see where this all shapes up.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, please.
James Gunn's secret project. What do you think?
What if James Gunn is directing a Superman movie? I don't think he would, though, because I don't feel like that's in James Gunn's wheelhouse. I don't think he wants that big character. He wants to do...
I don't think he wants the good boy. I think he wants, like...
The flawed character, right?
Like, he would do Question.
The Question would be awesome.
Like he would be like these random ass...
Plastic Man.
Calendar Man. Plastic Man would be a James Gunn story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You could do. I mean, I wonder. Then where's JJ going to fold into all of this? Is he still doing? He was supposedly working on the Justice League Dark, but again, like why? Like I don't think this DC needs any more dark heroes.
Yeah, everything's dark. Yeah.
I mean, we also have that rumor of, or I mean, I don't know if it's a rumor, how official it is, but Keanu Reeves coming back as Constantine.
Right. Is that going to happen? I feel like it's one of those things that...
I think it will.
I would like to see it.
Someone, like, that's a character he wants to replay again. Like, he's voiced that. So why don't we not make this happen?
But does Warner Brothers see it as, like, the first one didn't do well box office-wise, right? Like, it didn't review well.
They're going to lose him because Kevin Feige is going to pick him up for Ghost Rider.
He's going to do something,
something, right? Because he said it enough times that he wants to play a superhero, and it seems like he's been asked many times to play other heroes in the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
and he's a good he's literally a good person to have on your team
and on your podcast. Hey, Keanu, come on the movie podcast. We know you're big fans.
You're gonna lose out.
Do you think so? Here's my question for you: do you think Keanu Reeves shows up in a DC project next or Marvel project? Which one first?
I feel like he will show up in a Marvel project first.
Yeah. I feel like he'll be one of those crazy like after credit scenes. You're like, whoa, what's Keanu doing here?
Like Charlize Theron.
Yeah. like that.
You
Like
give it a
in
little French there, eh?
Charlize Theron.
Charlize
But who
Theron.
knows where it's going to go? But Shay, I would love for you to break down the box office. Let us know what's going on there, and we should probably do the jingle first.
Cha-ching! So Black Adam has opened to $67 billion.
That's lower than I think what The Rock was expecting.
That's a B with an M.
Yeah.
So $67 million. That's the best solo opening. This is coming from Eric Davis of Fandango. Best solo ever opening for Dwayne Johnson, higher than Shazam at 53 million, and it matched Aquaman, which also opened at 67 million. Stronger opening than recent DC branded films like The Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 84, which I mean that came out in the pandemic. So
yeah, that literally came out December 20.
Did it even have a theatrical release? I don't even know.
It didn't. No,
right? Super Pets and Lego Batman. To compare to MCU, Black Adam opened slightly below Shang-Chi and Eternals and a drop higher than the first Thor and Captain America films. Historically, DC has had 7 films open to more than 100 million, but 4 have featured Batman, and Batman appears in 5 of the 7. So, yeah, I guess it's all about the Bat, really.
The Bat rules DC 100%.
That Shazam, you said it opened higher than Shazam, but Shazam didn't even get half the marketing.
Not
nowhere near.
Yeah.
It should have opened up way higher than Shazam.
And it's wild to think that Eternals did more money than Black Adam.
Eternals is such a good movie, man.
It's
such a good movie. It's like Oscar type of like filmability.
Absolutely.
And I can't believe people hate it.
It's so strange. Yeah, we were the outliers, which is interesting with that.
Yeah.
It happens.
How the
sometimes,
cookie
right?
crumbles, I believe.
It's true. What else happened?
What
this
else?
week, Shay?
Ticket to Paradise opened in second place this week with 16.3 million. But it's doing great. It's got 80 million worldwide on a budget of only 60 million. So
60 million is a lot for that type of movie, though.
it is. I mean, look at the cast, right? So that's
like
30
the
each,
2 leads,
right?
Yeah,
So,
that's probably more.
They also shot it in Bali.
Yeah,
Is it
like
Bali?
there's 3
Indonesia,
locations in that movie too. Which
Absolutely.
So it's like, damn, 60
wanna
million
give
is a lot.
Our quick review, Shay, because me and you went to go watch it.
yeah.
I watched it too, actually, afterwards on Friday. Yes, 2 days ago I saw it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it, Shay.
Yeah. Yeah, you and I will talk about it.
Please.
I don't want to hear.
I'll just like.
We'll talk about it in a second. Let me finish this part out. We can do it when we're watching.
Okay, yeah,
How's
sure.
Yes. Then we have Smile, which I mean has got great legs or great teeth, I guess you could say.
Great
smiles.
teeth. Great teeth. Yeah.
It's in third place with 8.3 million this week. A total of 84 million so far on a budget of only 17 million.
Brilliant.
It's doing great. And Halloween Ends had its historic drop, 80% drop. It made 8 million this weekend, 82 million worldwide. I mean, at the same time, not good word of mouth, and at the same time, you have
It's on Peacock
on
as
Peacock.
well, right? Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that's a given.
I still like. That's what the budget of Ticket to Paradise. 100% all went to Clooney and Julia
Absolutely.
Roberts because that movie has the same budget as Kingsman, the Secret Service.
Yeah.
$80 million.
No, 60 million.
$60 million.
Yeah.
But
Even then.
But the action sequences, Daniel.
Of what movie?
Ticket to Paradise.
Yeah, man.
Did you not watch it? You probably didn't watch the same
You didn't
movie as
watch.
us.
The
You
action-
didn't wait to the end
action-
credits.
You didn't wait till
Eh?
the end.
Yeah.
Wow.
It didn't end.
You know what it was that blooper reel that cost them, I think, $60 million for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. My
Exactly.
God. Oh my God. So
Well, you
that's an
had-
expensive rom-com.
Yeah, but
though.
you also have iconic, Hollywood actors and
Yeah.
actresses in a movie
No, I get it, but
for
like
the first time in
that's
a
lot.
really long time.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but it's surprised me 0% because I'm like, oh yeah, George Clooney and Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
But it-
wouldn't do a $20 million movie.
But it really shows like where the world is at this point, because I think that movie in maybe the 90s and the early 2000s would have got more money just because they're there. But rom-coms right now, they're just
Especially
not,
in
they're
October.
missing the mark.
Yeah, but
They're
I
missing the mark for everyone.
just think like for setting a movie up for success, like having a $60 million budget for that is wild. Like where I look like a movie like Marry Me, which I consider like on the same par as like that it's a rom-com. Like budget wise, just because like it's a nicer location, it doesn't look like it. Like they're kind of on par. Like
it should have been 30
location-wise.
million. This movie.
Marry
in
Me
terms
was
of budget.
$20 million.
Yeah, like I that's what I'm saying. Ticket
Probably
to
all went to
Paradise-
J-Lo too.
Yeah, Ticket to Paradise should have been 30 million.
Yeah.
and then they would have had a much more bigger return.
Yeah.
At 60 million of a budget and it making 80 million so far, we got to see how long how long this ticket lasts because I don't know if they're going to make a lot back in terms of profit. They're
Right.
doing great so far, but
Yeah.
let's see.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but it was a fun movie though. It was a fun
Yeah,
movie.
we'll talk about it.
Is that it? Did you any more for box office?
That's all for box office.
I heard there's this horror film that's doing really well. Like it's a sequel. I forgot what it was called, but it was doing really well in the box. I think, and it was just the article was explaining that horror movies this year have been a huge success.
Yeah, as it should be.
Except Halloween. But when they're really good and really telling an actual horror story, people are enjoying it and then spreading that word to others to go
Spreading the
watch
joy,
it,
yeah.
watch it in theaters. And I just think that that's so amazing because horror movies got to a point where it became redundant or something that you saw and you kind of like, oh, I already saw this.
You're talking about like Terrifier 2?
I think so. It kind of looked like clowns or something.
Yeah.
But
That one's been making people like throw up in theaters and stuff too.
But oh, really?
Yeah, because
Damn.
it's so gross.
But like it's people who, but that word of mouth, like even with Barbarian being that movie that a lot of people didn't know about and heard about it and people talking about it,
Yeah.
they went to go watch it.
Barbarian had great legs as well. It did well with its, mysterious marketing that they used as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it did
Smile
really
was
well.
very mysterious.
And Smile as well.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Like when you with horror films, you could do a lot with a smaller budget. So when you're telling a story that gets people interested and releasing it at the right time, which I think is another big thing. How many times have we had horror films come out and it's like July.
Yeah,
And it's like, no, people don't want to watch a horror film in July. They want to watch it at the time. That's why I think it's so smart the time Barbarian came out and Pearl came out, because now they're going to be available to watch at home. Pearl is available on like the A24 streaming room. And then Barbarian is going to be on Disney Plus this week. So it's very smart of them to do that.
I think one big thing that a lot of studios will look into is this theme of horror films as well as like Christmas films.
Yeah.
Because these are the two things that you see always on TikTok during this time. But
biggest engagement,
people decorating their house for Halloween or for Christmas. And I think in the future you'll see more of these movies coming out in the proper time frame.
Yeah.
That they're supposed to come out and not during
It's
March
true.
or May.
And look, like people all the time talk about like the Hallmark movies and like Bros is the other movie that I was going to talk about, how that movie came out at the completely wrong time.
Yeah.
Awful time for them to release that movie. I'm glad it got a festival, like it got to be in TIFF, but that movie should have been out in the summer.
And we liked it, but
Yeah.
again, it just sucks the way the movie's marketed as well.
Yeah, but like when you look at like a Hallmark movies, I was seeing ads like there's a new Christmas Hallmark movie every day releasing starting I think this weekend. They know their audience. They know people will watch it. They play those movies nonstop every day.
There's a new Hallmark film.
There's a new Christmas Hallmark movie every single day starting next week.
Is any of them a sequel to the one that came out earlier in the month?
There probably could be, right? But that's the thing. They know their audience. They know people are watching it. They know people are going to talk about it. And regardless of the quality of it, they know what's successful for them, right? So they're making these movies all year long for small budgets, and they get crazy returns on them because like they're and I watch them too. I'll just put it on and I'm like, oh, this New York executive is coming home to her small town. They're literally called like, oh, I'm from tiny town USA or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But like, and then they just find the meaning of Christmas, and it's the same thing over. It's literally a cookie cutter, but people like it. And like you said, Anthony, like people do that for Halloween movies. People do that for Christmas movies. Disney again was really smart this year. Werewolf by Night and Hocus Pocus out a month before Halloween, so people could watch it and have that engagement with it all month long, right?
Then you have Netflix coming out with their Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we also have Netflix releasing the Wednesday Addams show
After
end
Halloween.
of November. It's
Yeah.
like, but why?
Because they wanted to watch people want to watch it during Christmas.
Yeah, it's so strange to me.
So here's the thing. This is how wrong their marketing is on this film
the show?
For Wednesday the show. I was telling my niece, I'm like, hey, Wednesday's coming out. I might be able to see it earlier because we get screeners and all that. And she's like, oh, when's it coming out? And she's like, oh, it's coming out like end of November. And she looked at me like, she's like 11. She's like, why would it come out in November? Like, because she's so invested in Halloween.
Yeah.
And it's a character based in that horror world or Halloween world. And it's not like Nightmare Before Christmas. This is completely.
Halloween.
This is a
It's the
Halloween
show.
show.
It surrounds it.
Wait a minute,
right?
that's a Night
It just-
Before Christmas reference.
Even if the show doesn't take place at Halloween, the characters are spooky. So it's like you want to watch it in the time appropriate time.
I think they don't
right?
want it to mesh in with their Midnight Club.
Maybe. But I also
Like
think
Midnight Club
Netflix
and the other
is-
one, The Watcher,
Yeah, there's a lot.
Dahmer.
I think they'll find their audience anyway, right? But we'll see. We'll also be talking about Wednesday very, very soon. Let's get some trailers. We definitely did switch up the order, but that makes sense because Anthony's going to be hosting next week. So
Yeah.
I like that you went next.
Oh, okay.
Creed 3 dropped its first trailer this week, and oh my God, Jonathan Majors looks unreal in this movie.
Steroids.
Whoever his chef is,
Yeah,
like
his personal chef.
Yeah.
Is,
I watched a YouTube video on, like, they did a men's health thing with him on it, and he was talking about how he got into shape for this role. But yeah, it is a lot of like food intake and when
I
to
believe
eat
it.
and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
dehydrating his
Yeah.
muscles. He looked incredible. Also, Michael B. Jordan is directing this film. It looks great. I love that we're having, Ryan Coogler and his brother are writing the story of this. They did not write the story of Creed 2, even though Creed 2 is still a fine movie. The first Creed for me is a real gem. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. I watch it all the time. So the second film, it's okay. It's fine. It has great moments in it, but it does not reach the heights that first one did. But this one made me feel a lot more connected to the first Creed movie because you're having Jonathan Majors, who is a former childhood friend of Adonis. He got sent to prison for, it looks like he took the rap for something that they did together, and now he's coming back thinking that Adonis stole his life. I love that as a setup because the ultimate way, like, for them to battle that out is going to be in the boxing ring, and it looks pretty great. It looks really, really great. Great trailer.
Yeah, really good trailer. I was surprised. I was hesitant because it was Michael B. Jordan directing.
Yeah, first time.
And you're always worried, first time actor, director. Like, what do you envision for this character?
In the third of a franchise too, so it's not like his vision
From the beginning.
From the beginning, right?
But he's this character, so it's a good thing, and he knows this character inside and out and where he wants to take him and how he's going to tell the story. I was shocked by the trailer, and I'm like, man, this feels like the first one, which is a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
It does.
We also got to look at The Crown Season 5, which is going to be coming out very, very soon. We also, another Netflix film, Enola Holmes 2. I was a huge fan of the first Enola Holmes, so it's nice to see Millie Bobby Brown and Henry Cavill coming back who looks like he's going to be have a larger role to play in this one as Sherlock. Did you end up watching Enola Holmes,
No.
Anthony? It's a really great movie.
I did not watch it.
Shay, you watched it though, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
really
it was
good
really fun. We also... we didn't talk about it on any shows. We got our first trailer for the Super Mario Brothers movie. Shay, what did you think of this trailer?
I think it is like it took me a while to adjust because it looked so good. Like in
Yeah.
terms of like the actual visuals, it looked like they were straight from the game. That's
Right.
how I wanted it. The character designs are perfect. Hearing Jack Black as Bowser, phenomenal. There was everything was great, but everyone was waiting for the moment.
Right.
The moment that Toad would speak, because we all wanted to hear Keegan-Michael Key.
Yeah, that's all we wanted.
That's all we wanted. No, we wanted to hear Chris Pratt, and I'm not in the camp of like burn him, like because of, his awful voice or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, that's not what I wanted to hear from Mario. But also, I feel like the parts they chose to speak were not the best parts. Not that I wanted like a monologue from Mario.
No. But you could tell they took an audio clip from a different part of the of the movie because it didn't make sense for him to go, Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Yeah,
Like,
and instead of "Here we go," which is the more
Here we
Mario thing
go!
to say,
Like, should have been that.
Yeah, they should have just cast you. I think. To be honest with you.
oh gosh.
But it was
would've been an
just again. I'm not like, oh my god, I hate it. It's more like I'm gonna wait to judge the movie when it comes out. Like I'll wait till then. But at the same time, like it was kind of weird. I won't lie.
But I definitely think it didn't help the line that they used. We've been hearing some dubs from like different languages. I'm like, oh, they went full
Mario.
Charles Martinet like voice, like full Mario voice. But I'm curious how we would have felt hearing him talk the whole movie if they did like
I don't know if I would have liked that.
Oh, a spaghetti.
Yeah,
like
I don't know if I would have.
like,
There's like YouTube videos out there, people like doing that, like full on Mario
I'm
talking.
like, this is
and it gets like
Well, he
I don't know why
He doesn't even talk
insensitive.
He doesn't even talk in the
game.
games, right?
No.
Like it's one sentence.
Yeah, it's like,
Mostly.
"Oh!"
Yeah. So
okay.
I don't think you would want to hear him talk like that.
What did you just say? Sorry.
Okay.
What
I believe that was an Odyssey. I believe.
Okay.
Like he gets rejected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peach, I love you.
Oh,
Okay.
Any of this offending you, Anthony? We'll stop.
Well, here's the thing, and I think that's where they didn't want to go down that route,
Right.
But I don't think Italians would have been like over offended. I think they embrace
Could
merit.
you imagine that article
They're not
coming
like so sensitive in that sense, where
Yeah.
you're making it sound like we're off a boat, like
Yeah.
that type of thing. But Italians are very like they embrace shit that makes them look good. So
Right.
the mafia,
Yeah.
nothing to
Does
embrace.
Mario join
These
the
guys
mob in
kill
this
people,
movie?
but they love
Yeah.
it because
Right.
it's like it's Italian.
Right.
Mario, he's Italian. Well, he could talk like he's off the Santa
But-
Maria. Who cares?
But he definitely has like a bit of a Brooklyn like
And-
twang to it, which
Yeah.
feels like they're following the same path as
Yeah.
the 1993
The Bob
movie.
Hoskins one.
Yeah.
Well, it
John
would make
Leguizamo?
sense. Like he lives in a world where he doesn't know this world exists, so he's maybe he is a plumber during the day, and he's transported into this world. So yeah, he probably has.
He's fixing a pipe, then gets
yeah.
sucked
like
into one.
a Bronx accent. But I'm not a big fan of Chris Pratt, and I never liked him being picked for this
For Mario?
for Mario, and I think they could have picked anyone else. And I think that's where I lie with Chris Pratt. I just don't like him as an actor.
Right.
Um,
He's great as Star-Lord though. He's great as Star-Lord.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think Star-Lord is better in other iterations, especially playing the game.
You're playing the game.
Woo!
Woo!
Playing what is it
Another
called?
one. Guardians of the
The
Galaxy.
Galaxy,
Yeah.
the game.
The game.
Do be the
But I
name
think
of
it's
them.
just, and I feel bad for him in the sense that I think he just needs to take some time away from
He's in a
Hollywood
lot. He's in a
and
lot,
then
yeah.
rebrand himself.
Yeah.
He's also Garfield as well, right?
He's gonna be Garfield's.
Yeah.
He's in the Lego movie.
Yeah.
Jurassic World,
Yeah.
Guardians. Like we've had a lot of Chris Pratt all at once.
But
yeah,
visually, like the
Unreal.
actual animation,
Illumination.
holy,
Amazing.
The penguins and seeing them and just the wind effects, seeing the hair on Bowser, and just like wow, this is going to be cool to see in a film.
Yeah.
In an animation stuff. Thank
Yeah.
God it's not live action.
It's funny because like I saw somebody tweet like, oh wow, this is gonna be the first time people are seeing Mario in 4K because the Switch is 1080p. But yeah, it looks visually gorgeous, and then the trailer ends. Like we see Bowser storming the castle with the penguins, which is a nice callback to N64, Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
And then we see Mario land. He has a little bit more of a realistic look to him.
Who?
Mario has more of a realistic look to him. They go through to the Mushroom Kingdom, which looks very reminiscent of the Universal Studios Nintendo worlds. And then the trailer ends, and then we get Luigi running from the dry bones. We hear a little bit of Charlie Day.
You hear enough of Charlie
Yeah,
Day,
they're
in
like
my opinion.
like I'm so excited. I'm so excited to
he's
hear
gonna
him.
be so good as Luigi.
Yeah, he's gonna be a lot
Charlie
of fun.
Day is a great choice for Luigi.
Yeah, like you already hear what he's gonna do. with
I'm already
it.
laughing, and I haven't heard a line yet.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And then we're going to get as Donkey Kong, and then we're going to get there's such a cast of this movie that I'm just so
That makes
excited
sense.
to
Like Seth Rogen playing
yeah. If you didn't know, it was Seth Rogen I was doing there.
yes, playing Donkey Kong. That works.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not
Mario.
a big fan of
Yeah.
his,
Who
it works.
do you like, by the
Yeah.
way?
I don't like
Yeah.
no one.
Yeah,
man.
I'm doing the
There's
show
no-
right now
I
with
have a
Daniel
list
Shahbaz. I
and
really
it's
don't like
Not a big fan of them.
Yeah, not
I
a big
never
fan
liked
of
them
them.
from the beginning. Oh, okay.
No, but it's going to be fun, and I'm really excited to see more because this trailer wasn't even like a traditional trailer. It felt like here's a little scene of this movie.
or a teaser. It's
Right.
really
A teaser.
a teaser.
Very
much a teaser,
yeah.
right? So we'll see where it goes. And oh yeah, we have Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
can't
gonna
wait
be-
to hear her
It's
or
gonna be
see
fun.
her, yeah.
Out this week, Pray for the Devil is going to be out. I did get the chance to watch it. It is very scary. It has a lot of familiar exorcism tropes, but I think Jacqueline Byers, who we got to talk to, is great in it. We'll have that interview later this week on the movie podcast with director Daniel Stamm too, so look forward to that very, very soon. But let's talk about what we're talking before we get into what we're watching. Sorry, before we talk about our topic of the show,
okay,
I'm
okay,
dropping some
okay.
bars for you. Really quickly, I'm going to go first. She-Hulk finale, loved it. I loved the fourth wall breaking that they did with this. And then the other big one that I watched, we've watched a lot over the last 2 months, so just listen to our reviews. The Rings of Power finale, which we will eventually do a series review for. Once more people, I think, have watched it, we'll do a series review where we kind of talk about all of our thoughts for it. But yeah, But it's been some really great TV over the last 2 months. So I'm going to kick it over to Anthony to go next.
Yeah, so She-Hulk, for me, The Rings of Power. I started Let the Right Ones In, which is a Showtime series based on Let the Right Ones In, the vampire, like the kid who was a vampire. I think Matt Reeves directed.
Oh, Little Vampire.
Yeah. No.
Not Little Vampire. No. I'm enjoying it. I'm 3 episodes in. It's kind of like a retelling of that story, but more grounded, but also it takes place in the city. I believe it's New York, but it's just really, really, really cool to see these characters in kind of in a long form aspect rather than a movie or 2-hour movie. So there's a lot of like lore being built for it. My voice is cracking right now.
Yeah, you okay? Man?
Do you want me to kick it over to Shay for a second?
I was just watching him sort of.
I hate when when you get past the torch and you're like, okay, I'm going to start talking. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, your body's like, no, you're not. American Gigolo with John Bernthal
Johnny Burles.
playing it. He plays the same character that Richard Gere played in American Gigolo, but it's a different retelling of that story. It tells the story after he's convicted of murder and goes to jail for 15 years, and just how he comes back into this world and tries to figure out his life. It's created by the same guy who created Ray Donovan, so it feels very similar to that feel and that look of that series. I'm not 100% sure on the story. I think it's falling flat for me. I think the idea of American Gigolo seemed interesting because I'm like, oh, okay, there's going to be a lot of like sex and he's going to play this guy who's going to go around, but it went a different turn. And I don't know if I enjoyed the story as much as actually watching him interact with being an actual gigolo. Tales from the Territory, which is the same creators of Dark Side of the Ring. It's on Crave. It's a Vice produced show. Produced by none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Of course.
Man.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
He does the narration for the actual intro of the show, but it just tells the story about these wrestlers and their territories, and really, really cool stories, really fun stories. Like I think last week I watched the story between Jerry the King Lawler and Andy Kaufman and that huge battle. I don't know if you've ever seen the slap that he did on David Letterman. He slapped Andy Kaufman, and it felt so real. Like people were so invested in like, oh my God, this is actually happening. This guy's a Hollywood actor, and he just slapped him, this wrestler. And it was, I think, David Letterman's first season on. So it was just like both.
Wow.
These things became like these huge
like cultural
stories.
moments, right?
Yeah, cultural moments. So you get a little bit behind the scenes, and every episode they talk a little bit about these territories. It could be in Canada, it could be in the States, because and for wrestling, they always, before, the WWF or WWE or WCW, they had these wrestling territories around the Americas and in Canada, and these wrestlers like Hulk Hogan, they all started there and they rised up.
Right? Yeah.
So it's just these really interesting stories that they tell. So I think you would enjoy them if you're a big wrestling fan.
Yeah, I gotta watch it because I love Dark Side of the Ring, so that feels definitely like a continuation of that, right?
Oh, very, very much so. White Lotus, I put that on because I saw the trailer for the second season of White Lotus, and I was interested to see what this show is all about. And I'm not like a huge, like, I wasn't hugely a fanboy out of it, but I enjoyed the characters and how they were developed. And I want to see where they kind of take in the second season, because there's one character that will be continuing from the first to the second, which is Jennifer Coolidge's character. But it's such an interesting story about people, and it felt like a very character study driven show.
Sure, yeah.
Because there is a murder that happens that you'll see in the beginning, in the sense of you'll see like a casket, and it tells the story of how it got to that point. And it just felt interesting. It had a little bit of a Fawlty Towers feel to it as well. I don't know if you guys ever watched Fawlty Towers, which is like an English comedy with John Cleese from back in the day, and he kind of like runs this bed and breakfast, and it's just some funny moments, but then there's some serious moments. But
yeah, I got that vibe from the owner of the hotel.
Yes.
Very John Cleese.
John Cleese. But yeah, I enjoyed that story. But again, I wasn't like, wowed by it.
Okay.
So I'm interested to see where the second season goes because Michael Imperioli's in it, and I haven't seen him act in forever, especially in a more serious and more of a role where he's very invested in, and it feels like this is something that he's.
Let's nice to see him back.
Yeah, because you always think of The Sopranos,
right,
and HBO, and this is an HBO show, and I feel like that these are signs that he's gonna do a really good job. So
yeah,
interested.
I'm down for it.
But that's all.
Sounds good. Shay, take us home.
She-Hulk, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. We talked about God of War. I finished the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign as well.
Oh, yeah. Playing that as well.
Really, really fun campaign. Really enjoyed it. There's an after-credit sequence that really got me hyped in a video game of all things because it sets up something that, if you've been playing the Call of Duty campaigns for a long time, or even like up until like in the PS3, Xbox 360 era, the reference that they make and where they kind of go with it is so cool. It actually made me go, whoa, we're doing this again. That's awesome.
Kevin Spacey's back in?
No, he's not back. No.
Oh, no.
We don't talk about
oh,
that.
no.
I've been watching season 3 of Rummy, and I've been loving it. It's really, really good. We've had some great guest stars. We had Bella Hadid in one of the episodes. And then this show, it's such an interesting show because it's such an A24 show as well. And we're dealing with the repercussions from what happened in season 2. So, yeah, I'm loving it.
Is it A24 produced as well?
Yeah.
Or is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A24 and FX?
A24 and Hulu.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. I thought it was an FX show, no?
No.
Is it on FX
Hulu.
here?
It's Hulu.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's on Crave here.
It's on Crave here. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It feels like an FX show.
Yeah, I thought
it feels like Dave and feels like
Yeah.
lineup, but it's not.
It's literally not like any of those. Yeah.
No, but I know
what you mean. Yeah, but it's not like Dave. Like Dave is very like comedy.
Whatever. Shut up, guys.
But no, this is more A24. But it's really damn good. I recommend you guys checking it out. I know you guys don't like. Is it Muslim stuff? Is that what it is?
Is it the M?
Yeah, you guys don't like
the
my
big
people?
M's. Yeah,
the big M's. M&M's.
I think my whole thing I didn't get into it is just it was hard to find. But now that it's easier, because before it wasn't.
It was hard to find.
Before we couldn't watch it.
We couldn't watch it at all.
Yeah,
so now that
it's easy, it's on.
We should be able to watch it.
Yeah.
You have to pay like $20 on Crave. But
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Here we are. I've been watching Love is Blind season 3 on Netflix. We've had the show for some time, and I think I can talk about the first week. I don't like anybody in the show so far, and I don't know if. I wonder how this season is going to fare. I'm curious to see if people are going to like this season of the show because I don't really do reality shows, but for some reason, something about Love is Blind, it's interesting. I saw a tweet the other day that said like the reason why people watch this show is because they want to see weird people make dumb decisions, and I'm like, I
feel like that's all reality shows.
It is, but like these people, they're not as confident as other reality shows. Like they're not like, it's not like I guess Real Housewives where they're throwing things or yelling. It's more like just average everyday people just making really weird decisions, and you're like,
interesting.
Why are you doing that?
Why are you?
Because people want to see people fall.
Yeah,
and that's the whole thing. They want them to. Succeed.
I want to see people happy though. That's why I shouldn't be watching these shows.
Everyone will say that, but subconsciously you want to see them.
You want to see the
crash and burn.
Crash and burn. You want to see that person storm out and quit their job in a big way. Like even though you say you don't, there's something within us where I think people enjoy watching other people go through it, not themselves, because it's almost not wish fulfillment, but like that. Like it's there's no consequences to you.
I want them to be happy.
Yeah.
And let's talk about Ticket to Paradise.
Yeah.
So Anthony and I will talk about it. You can let us know if you think the same. No, so Ticket to Paradise, George Clooney, Julia Roberts, they're back.
But they're not robbing banks. It's not robbing casinos.
I was like,
or fighting off a terrorist on a TV show.
Yes. Oh Money Monster.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was. I thought it was a really cute movie. I think it very much rests on the shoulders of Clooney and Julia Roberts.
Absolutely.
The rest of the story is very much, you've seen this a million times before. The in-laws meeting, they're not happy with the guy that the daughter's marrying. Blah blah blah. Movie kind of follows those same tropes. But you feel good watching it because I also feel like we haven't gotten a traditional rom-com like this in a long time.
Right.
This feels like it would have come out in like 2006. Mm-hmm. Like it feels very much that era where like now we're having George Clooney and Julia Roberts being like the parents, where before it would have been like them falling in love and them being the focus of it. Right.
I found that the trailers really gave away the whole film.
It was the whole movie.
And like I was really hoping that would be the case, but that is like I'm like, damn it, why would they do that?
Yeah, don't watch the trailers if you're interested. If you've just seen a TV spot, that's enough.
Yeah, but like again, the performances between George and Julia are so great. They're so fun. They're having literally the time of their lives, and it's one of those movies that has a blooper reel at the end, so you really feel that as well.
Yeah,
yeah, same. Like, it's one of those stories where, like Daniel said, you've seen it, you've done it, you've been in it many times, but you really watch it for the chemistry of
the leads. Yeah,
of the leads with George Clooney and Julia Roberts. They have a friendship outside of that, outside of making movies. So it really shows in this where they actually get to perform, and I think it was a lot of fun for them.
Right.
But yeah, the story's meh. Like, this is not something I would say you need to run to the theater and watch.
No,
but
it's a good date night movie.
It's good to watch at home. It's fun. There are moments of like so cute for sure.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I think
you were crying in it, dude.
No, I wasn't crying.
Yeah, you were
man.
crying. Yeah.
This was such a Love Is Blind type of storyline. Like, she meets this dude in 36 days.
There's no way. There's no way her parents, I don't know, I know they weren't cool with it or her friend, but like if you went on vacation and you fell in love with somebody there, like your friends will be like, okay, you're just
relax.
You're just horny AF right now. Relax. Like and then like you just finished law school.
I think it's just
she doesn't have debt now. I mean, I was thinking,
I think her parents are rich.
Yeah, but I'm like, you know what I mean? I was like, damn, like crazy white people doing crazy white people things.
It was very much like a white person thing. Like as I was watching it, I'm like, yeah, that would just never happen in my community. Like we'd be like, you only have known him for 1 month. What the fuck? Like that's.
I don't even think it's gonna happen in their community, like the Bali community. Because it takes place in Bali.
I haven't.
Right?
I haven't talked to many Indonesians.
Yeah.
So if
but
you
like,
are,
I guess you get caught up in that world. It's like, oh, look how beautiful I can actually sleep, and the ocean's right there, and you're like, I want to live this.
Do they
life.
live?
And
do they live on a resort? By the way,
I'm like, okay, everyone seems like it just seems not realistic.
Yeah, this movie's not realistic, especially the ending of it. I'm like, yeah, they're not thinking of like there's it's just the fantasy, like the idyllic world that they live in, right?
But that's why fun movie.
It's a cute movie that way. But if you start thinking about it more, you're just like,
you can't tear this one apart.
You can't. Yeah, we can't do it to this one.
Yeah. What was the budget on this film, Daniel?
$70,000. No, I'm kidding. It was $60 million. This movie does not look like it was $60 million.
This movie cost more than some comic book films that were made. Like,
dude, it's on par with Kingsman.
Shazam was less than 60 million.
Was it? No, I think Shazam was 150 million.
Shazam? I thought it was like 65 million.
I don't know. Let's get our.
I thought I remember seeing that. Like, the budget was under 100 million.
I wouldn't be surprised either. But this movie costs way too much money. But again, like you see the leads of it, you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Let's get
that money.
You need that money, right? But it's nice to see Julia Roberts and
so
George Clooney.
Shazam's budget was, drum roll please, 100 million.
Yeah,
so
100
kind of in the middle of what you guys are saying.
Yeah, but like you're not far off from like 60 to 100 million. Like it's another 40 million, but that's still like more than halfway there. Like that's a big chunk of money for a movie that's like, again, 3 locations.
You look at the leads and you get it. You're like, well, that's their budget.
Yeah, that's them. But let's get into our topic of the show. Today we are talking about our, movies we want you to watch in this Halloween season. We are about a week away from All Hallows Eve. And we each are coming with 5 movie suggestions that we love to recommend for you to watch this season. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Anthony's going to go first.
Because I'm going to talk about a film that I've been asking you guys to watch and you still haven't watched it.
Yeah, but I know the film you're going to say, and you also debated putting it on your list, so...
No.
Yeah, you said, should I put this on there? It was a good movie.
No, I had 5 films, and that wasn't the one.
Okay, maybe. Let's see if would you say
Black Phone.
That's the one, yeah.
Oh, I don't refuse to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah? I've been telling you since...
You also went to go see it without telling us, so...
Yeah, you did.
There was that.
You were like, should I tell my friends? No.
Well, I'll call their Black Phone. I needed time to waste, and I went to go watch a film, and I wasn't gonna go watch a Top Gun again because I watched it like 700 times.
It's true. No, but Black Phone, I know. I'm gonna watch it this week. We'll watch it this week.
It's a movie that should have come out this time of the year. I think it was supposed to come out last year.
It came out in June, right?
It came out in June.
Yeah.
And I think I got lost, but a lot of people liked it and it got praise.
Yeah.
But I felt like it should have come out like later on in the year, just during this time period. You know, Halloween, horror. But again, I get other films, or I don't know who is it. Universal, yeah, Universal, maybe,
Blumhouse,
Yeah.
maybe made this. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Ethan Hawke does a
Friend of the show.
great, yeah,
Friend of the
he
show.
does a great job of playing this.
he told me the same
psychopath.
thing too when I sat down and talked to him. He's like,
He put on the mask.
He's like, Anthony said that he loved The Black Phone. Did you watch it yet? And I'm like, Ethan, I have not. And he was like, get out.
Put it on. It's a good horror film. It takes place in this, I want to say late 70s, early 80s, but it's just they really captured that time, and they really did a good job of just telling a simple horror story involving Ethan Hawke's character playing this psychopath who kidnaps kids. But there's some supernatural stuff that's involved, but I really, really enjoyed it, and it's such a nice short movie. I think it's like an hour and 40 minutes.
That's perfect. That's what you want for a horror film. Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm gonna go next. My next one also very short film. I'm kidding. It's not. I'm gonna for my recommendations. These are all films that came out this year, and there's some different choices. So I know in years past when we've done our suggestions, we gave a lot more of traditional recommendations. So I'm going off a little off the cusp. But any chance I'll get to talk about the Batman, I'm going to talk about the Batman, because this movie I think it's a perfect fall movie. I wish Black Adam and the Batman had different, I wish they swapped dates. I know the Batman was supposed to be October of last year, which would have been perfect because it takes place on Halloween, that first opening night. It's spooky. It has an incredible performance from everyone in it, especially Robert Pattinson and Paul Dano as the Riddler. But I feel like with that opening sequence taking place on Halloween, that's a movie you want to watch with all the lights out. You want to just go full into it, and it feels like this season. So that's I would say watch the Batman. It's available on Crave. It's available on HBO Max. Perfect movie for this season.
Yeah.
Shay.
One of the ones that I want to go with is something that has been, it's been popping up a lot more in my mind, and I watched it again, and I was like, oh, this is such a bad movie, but it's so good at the same time, and it's Final Destination 2.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I say 2 is because that one is the one with the infamous highway sequence.
Yes, I was going to ask you, is that the one with the
yeah,
timber?
The timber. Timber or lumber? Lumber.
Timber, you say when you cut the tree down.
Do you say that often when you cut trees?
Timber.
But yeah, great movie, has some great scares, and but it's like a bad movie, but it's great. But a lot of good moments. That movie really scares the shit out of you. Scared me. I mean, I don't think many Canadian houses have the drain recycling chute thing. Like, what is that thing called?
Garbage disposal. Yeah.
Do we have those? Often?
We do have these here, but I don't think a lot of
I
people.
have not seen many,
not.
but I remember like there's moments in the movie where that would scare me, and like obviously going down an escape ladder, but also just driving on the highway.
Someone's
being
hand
behind
going into it is always like something that happens.
Always
in
so
horror
scary,
films.
right?
Yeah.
Just happened in Halloween ends.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I never saw one of those growing up. I never had friends who had them, but you would always see them on TV where people.
Yeah. Kramer installed one in a shower.
Yeah,
I'm
like, just throw it out in the garbage.
Yeah.
Right? I guess.
Like, what do you need this
why
for?
would you compact it into?
If you have a garbage disposal, let us know.
Let us know. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, like why do you need this?
Yeah, but it's just one of those movies that like it's like if a movie has made that big of an impact on people, you see all the memes out there, people purposely not driving behind trucks and stuff like that.
I think about it every time I'm on the highway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's a strong enough suggestion to say that is one of the movies that I recommend.
That's great. And I was looking up. I'm like, where are these movies? They're all on Tubi, so you could watch them on Tubi for free with ads.
To be or not to be.
To be or not to be, but you can watch all 6 of them on there.
Beauty.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Anthony, throw in another one. We're each doing 5, so let's get another one in here.
Evil Dead remake.
Ooh.
You know how much I like that film.
We do.
And it's not just for the horror aspect, but it combines it combines horror as well as body horror in the same world.
My 2 favorite things, horror and body horror.
But when you take like body horror and they really focus on body horror and not the actual horror, the Evil Dead remake that was, I think it came out like 2016, produced by Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Really well done. I forgot who directed it. I want to say Gabriel something. But
was it a Spanish director?
It was a Spanish director.
He did something recently too.
And he did something recently.
Yeah.
But really, really well done. And it's fucking bloody.
It is,
and it's gory, but it's so
Fede
good.
Alvarez.
Yeah, Fede Alvarez. Yes.
What did you do recently?
Oh, I'll take that.
But if you haven't seen the Evil Dead remake, maybe if you've seen the Evil Dead, go watch this remake because I enjoyed it. It's not the best story, and I don't think Evil Dead is a great story, but it does its job of telling you this story of these kids that go to a cabin and are being, or one of them is being possessed by this evil witch who wants everyone dead, and that's all it is. That's the whole story.
That's all you need, though. I think that's all you need to. Sometimes you just need.
And I wish there was more.
Yeah,
I wish he continued that remake.
Well, we are getting one next year, right? We're getting a new Evil Dead next year. It was supposed to be on, I think, Hulu exclusively, but now they're going to be doing a theatrical release with it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But will it be a sequel or will it be?
I don't know if it's.
I know that it has Bruce Campbell in it.
Yeah. So it's going to be. It could just be like another telling of it. It could be another story.
This remake doesn't really focus on Bruce's character, or even have. I don't even think he has. There's
a version of him in it. Yeah.
The version is this female character who has to endure this evilness
that
she needs to take care of.
Yeah, because they went back to the kind of formula with those ones, other than
and I really enjoyed it. I think it was the better of all the remakes that ever came out from a lot of these horror films that we see now.
Interesting. All right, we got it. I know.
What else did he direct?
Fede Alvarez.
Yeah.
Recently, he directed Girl in the Spider's Web.
Oh, okay. There you go. Okay, from 2018.
Not a bad movie. It's just boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again,
that's
you're
what it
following
is.
up Girl with the Dragon Tattoo as well too.
Yeah.
So
But he also did Don't Breathe, so that was a great film as well.
that was. Did he do the second one?
No.
No, he didn't do that one.
He wrote the second one.
Okay, got you.
No,
Still,
I don't know.
Still Can't Breathe, I believe.
Still can't breathe.
Yeah.
What does it sound like a Jordan Sparks
Why?
song? The next one on my list is one that I'm dying to rewatch. And again, it's another case of a movie being released at a bad time. I think a perfect movie to watch this October would be The Northman. The Northman, I think, has such cool Norse mythology woven into it. It feels like it takes place during the fall. There's a lot of spookiness to it as well, too. Nicole Kidman is scary in it. Anna Taylor-Joy is scary in it. Willem Dafoe is really freaky in it. They go on a crazy vision quest in this movie. But I think it's one of those movies that has the vibes of fall that I think would be really cool to watch around the Halloween time. Also, it weirdly connects to the Batman because the guy who plays the young version of Alexander Skarsgård also plays young Bruce Wayne in the Batman. It's a little fun fact for you. But no, I think I think we all really loved The Northman earlier this year.
But you easily forget it because it came out in a time where COVID was starting to lift, like the COVID restrictions were starting to lift.
Yeah, people were going back to the theater.
And it made made some money. I don't know if it was a successful movie for them, but
compared to like what Robert Eggers has done before with like The Lighthouse and The Witch, like that had a lot smaller budgets. This is a lot bigger of a budget film. I think that it would have hopefully maybe have served it better if it released later in the year, maybe did some festivals to build up. Because I think of it in the same vein as like The Woman King, where it's like this, fierce warrior movie, but you're releasing it into a time. I think, when did it come out? Did it come out in like
September?
May?
The Woman King?
No, sorry, The Northman, right? It was like end of April, May, right?
Yeah.
We're like, this is a weird time to be releasing a movie.
I think they're
like
hoping
this.
to make it like a blockbuster, like a summer blockbuster, but it just wasn't the right time.
And you're also releasing it right before Doctor Strange, which people are waiting for, so it was a weird choice. But a great movie to watch at home if you get the chance to watch it. Shay.
The next one I have here is a movie I used to watch as a kid a lot during Halloween, and it's Sleepy Hollow by Tim Burton.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Yeah, I really liked this movie because it really, the Headless Horseman was always a scary figure, but the way that they portrayed him in this movie, the weight you'd feel when he'd step with his boots, like the thuds you'd hear, it was really scary. And like the way that Tim Burton does his movies, this was probably my favorite Tim Burton film.
Yeah.
It's just really damn good.
I had to do a project on that film in university where we get assignments in my audio design class where they'd be like, okay, do all the Foley sound for the scene. So we did that scene of like the horseman walking like in the forest.
Yeah.
And like you would have to like do all the sounds live. It was such a fun thing. Yeah.
I had such a crush on, and I still do have a crush on Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
And she's
it's a great movie.
Christopher Walken's in it too.
Christopher Walken, he plays Mr. Horseman.
And it's such a it feels,
Mr. Horseman.
It feels cozy too. It's like a cozy film.
It is.
Even
It's a
though
cozy autumn
It is
film,
a very cozy film.
It's not something you want to be cozy to, but it just feels like
you're absolutely right. It has that feeling.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big things. I think of like another one we were talking about recently, like Knives Out. That first Knives Out is such a fall movie.
Yeah.
That like it's cool when movies have that feel to them, right? Because like you who watch it at those times of the year and feel like, oh yes, like this is like it's starting to get cold outside. We'll be warm inside watching this movie,
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Anthony, jump on in. No repeats yet from either of us.
Yeah, no repeats.
Yeah.
2018 Halloween.
Oh,
Not
I don't know if something that you put on your list,
Nope.
but it's a really good Halloween film. Just because the story is so well thought up. It's not like the last two that we watched.
right.
It is completely different. It feels scary. There are moments where you're just like, what the fuck is about to happen? And Jamie Lee Curtis as
Laurie Strode.
And her preparation for the rematch with Michael Myers just felt really good. And like that sequence where they trap him in the house and they set it on fire. This like these three women, they just planned everything and just worked so well. Man, such a good. I think, and that's where it should have ended. It should have fucking died in that fire. But
yeah. Or here's the thing: you could have her burn him in the fire, but it also leaves it open enough to be like, you could have come back.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like that.
If you had a story.
That mystery in Halloween Kills, you see him come out of that fire and kill all the firemen. Like, you're literally showing the magic. Like, you could have held back and just had him pop up somewhere else, but you're giving away, you're showing them how the magic was done, right? So it's like, it's not scary anymore.
Yeah. And that opening sequence where we see the doctor try to figure out who Michael Myers is, and they're all like these crazy patients.
Yeah. The inmates at this thing.
It kind of looks like a chessboard that they're all in these squares, and the guy's like screaming and laughing, and it's just
the cuts
friggin' scary. Like this is a movie. Those two movies, you can't tell me that those two films were the same as this film.
You've confused me, I'll be honest. You can't tell me that you don't know what you know.
They're
so passionate about it.
They're so different.
There's no way you planned the last two from this film.
I remember Shay and I watching Halloween 2018 in theaters, and that whole opening sequence with the podcaster going to give him the mask. He's like, take it, take it, and then Michael, and then like you're cutting to the different like the different inmates at that facility, and they're laughing and kind of like doing their thing, and you're just like,
and then it cuts to the titles,
and then it cuts to the like you're like, oh my lord,
it's so good.
It's so well. That movie is beginning to end.
So
amazing.
Good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's my turn. Let me see what I got here. Two movies that came out this year because they are a perfect pair: X and Pearl. X, I'll never forget. Is that on one of your lists too, Anthony?
Those two were on my list.
All right, we'll talk about it now. Well, I remember us leaving X and being like, yeah, that was good. And then on that way home, we were just like, holy shit, this movie was amazing. And it really like expanded for us. And then going into Pearl, which I think we both agree is a better movie than X, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Pearl is amazing. And I wish I don't give a shit about the Academy and what they do, but if there was an award that we could give Mia Goth for her performance in this film, especially the monologue she gives in this movie.
Monologue is like, I think it's like 7 minutes long.
Yeah, 8 minutes long.
8 minutes long.
It is
one
phenomenal.
continuous cut. Did you see Pearl yet?
I'm about to watch it soon.
Why are you smiling?
I don't know. You want to be sad? I'm about to watch it soon. I'll never look at you and smile again. I'm so sorry.
But yeah, that sequence, man, it was so just, we didn't expect it. And she just kept going on and on and on. And what it felt like to be married, what it felt like to not have someone with her, what it felt like to not be a star. And she goes through this whole, and there's someone in front of her listening to this.
And you're just like, what the fuck?
I need to fucking leave. I need to run. And she didn't fucking run. Take off your heels and run. Yeah. Run, bitch, run.
I think that was the original line in Forrest Gump as well, too.
Run,
but
bitch,
they changed it. Like, no, let's call him Forrest instead. But yeah, X and Pearl, what a 1-2 punch of a movie from Ty West this year. Again, I can't believe that both these movies released this year. X was in March. Pearl is in September. Phenomenal movies. Though I think once Maxine comes out, it can only be amazing. I'm assuming. I'm hoping it's going to stand the test of time as one of the best horror trilogies ever.
Yeah,
amazing.
New horror and new story, new everything, new something horror, original.
It's amazing. It's so well done. X is fantastic. Pearl is just on another level.
Yeah,
amazing. You owe it to yourself to watch. Again, we've had such an amazing year of horror films, and we're all giving suggestions, which I love, from like more recent years too. So like we've been living a really good time for horror films, even though if the Halloween trilogy did not pan out the way that we hoped it would. Shay, jump on in with your number 3 choice.
This is one that I spoke about recently on an ad for Mubi, and it is Censor.
Great film.
Yeah, if you have Mubi, which you can actually get, I believe, for 30 days free.
Hold on.
If you go to Mubi.com/TheMoviePodcast.
But this was your idea.
Oh, dang.
That's a reference to our ad. You should go listen to it in our
yeah, go listen
Raymond
to our
and
ad.
Ray.
Yeah.
Our Raymond and Ray discussion.
Yeah, go listen to our ad. Actually, we're going to release the ad as a separate episode.
Ad will be a
That's how
separate
good it was.
episode, yeah.
No, but you know what? Censor is one of those movies that we watched at Sundance, and you know, after I finished, I'm like, oh, that was good. You know, it was good. And then it just kind of kept staying in my mind. I'm like, that movie was so horrific, and it didn't need to be as horrific as it was, but it was just such a fantastic film, and it really stayed in my mind. And I think that the entire team from that movie, the director,
is it Prano Bailey Bond, right?
Prano Bailey Bond, yes, and even the actresses, they're gonna have a phenomenal career moving forward.
I think so.
Like it's just a really good movie, and it, again, we've talked about this in our ad. Movies about movies really just hit with us as well.
Always, yeah. Movies about movies always hit with us. Anthony, I know we took one of yours.
You took 2 of ours, but I found more.
Okay, so please.
Of ours, I'm referring to myself as Martyrs.
Oh, which one? The old OG?
Yeah, 2008 from France. Like that movie. That was a movie I wanted to go watch during TIFF at the Midnight Madness, and the whole reason we went to go watch it was because it was banned. It was one of those movies like banned in France because it was too horrific, and it is very horrific story. But if you're looking for a movie that you haven't seen that's international,
that'll just ruin you for the rest.
Will ruin you. Will like scare the shit out of you. Martyrs is that movie.
I like the story a lot for Martyrs. The story is a really interesting because it's believable enough,
especially the things you hear in that happen in the States, because it does tell a story of people being held captive in an underground tunnel and being tortured. That's something that you would definitely hear, because you hear people being captured and kept for many years in a underground vault or some sort
and it's always scary where it's like it's just like a block away from where they lived. I'm like, what?
And this person was a family man. He had a family, and they didn't know, type of thing. Like these are things that you hear. So it's pretty horrific. The whole idea of it is the story. I don't want to spoil it, but it's pretty horrific.
Yeah.
So I would just say, be mindful of that.
The opening sequence really sets the tone for
that doorbell ring.
The doorbell, the morning breakfast.
Morning breakfast with the family is not a morning breakfast.
That's how Anthony wishes his morning breakfast as well.
No,
okay.
Jesus.
No, man.
You sure?
I'm not. No, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Daniel, maybe.
Yeah, Daniel.
For me?
For Daniel.
Okay.
Daniel does that for morning. Why?
Okay, my lord.
Great choice.
Yeah,
horrific movie. It's still I've seen it once, and that was enough.
Once is enough. My next film is going to be available on Disney Plus later this week. Of course, I am talking about Barbarian. Shay, did you have this on your list?
I have Barbarian on my list.
Let's talk about Barbarian a little bit.
Barbarian.
No, not Dave the Barbarian either. Not that.
No,
remember that show?
No, what a this movie. I mean, again, I'm so sad when I missed out on screenings, but I missed out on X and Pearl. I've seen X now. Pearl I'm watching soon. Barbarian I missed out on as well, but I got to watch it myself, and I never have hated my life more.
It's again, like when I was in Pray for the Devil, when you're in a horror movie by yourself, it's a different vibe.
And the worst part is, Daniel, we watch these movies during the day.
Yeah, doesn't help.
So it doesn't help.
Theater is still in the darkness, by the way.
Yeah,
it's like a morning mode in the theater.
I had my girlfriend pick me up after the movie, and we're in the car, and she's like, "You're not talking," and I'm like, I don't know what to say. I was like, I don't have any words right now. Yeah, Papa. I'm like, I have no words right now. She's like, was it scary? I'm like, it was, but it was like such a good movie.
Yeah.
Like it just really stuck with me.
Yeah. So at first I'm like, yeah, that's interesting. I still have like little issues with the movie, but man, like it really is a wild ride. And I think if you're looking for something wild to watch this week, is it October 26th?
Yeah.
On Disney Plus here in Canada, you'll be able to watch this. It's a great movie to watch this week before Halloween. Do it, because
absolutely
this is the time to watch it.
Yeah.
Shay, what's your next one?
My last one here would be the Fear Street trilogy.
Oh,
you know, Netflix came out swinging last year.
That was a fun time. That was a fun
in the summer of all
couple weeks.
Oh yeah, of all times. But man, Fear Street. Not the last one didn't hit as strong as I'd hoped, but at least the first two for me were really great. I really enjoyed them, and they're just they had this. They also filled that hole that Stranger Things was there for. But I really, really enjoyed them. They were scary. They were fun. They just gave me that old school slasher vibe. And the fact that it was, 3 films was just such a cool concept that I really enjoyed.
I wish they went back to the 90s because the last one being like such a period piece. It's hard to relate to them, even with.
But they did though.
No, but like really
like stayed in the 90s,
like,
I guess. Yeah,
maybe show flashbacks or something like that.
I get
But
it.
just when you go down that route, you can't really relate to it. At least you can relate to the 70s a bit because you're aware of it. But that period
The
was
1700s,
so far removed. You can't really.
No. Yeah.
You don't really care. Who cares if the fucking goat was killing everyone? That.
Yeah.
But in the 90s and the 70s, 80s vibe, you can
They
definitely
hit.
hit hard.
That's why those two hit for me.
They could maybe they do like Fear Street 2000.
I think there's talks right now, right?
Fear
about
Street
coming
2000.
back.
Imagine that. Like that
Jason
sounds
X,
like that sounds like the name of what they could do. Like they can make the 2000s.
Sounds like
go
a
bit
N64 game.
Yeah, right. They put the year or the title of the console.
Yeah,
in it.
FS2K.
Yeah. Hey, I'd watch it.
Yeah,
I'd watch it.
I'm here for it. I mean, again, they are hoping to revisit that series.
Yeah, I would love it.
So,
That's a great. That was a great thing that they created, or
Yeah.
it was based on R.L. Stein, right?
R.L. Steen.
R.L. Stein
I'm just
of
kidding.
Goosebumps.
Stein.
But yeah, I would love to see more Fear Streets because, like
Absolutely.
you said, I think it filled that Stranger Things sized hole that everyone had for 3 years, which is wild to think that we didn't have that show for 3 years. But yeah, Anthony, you have another one, right?
Yeah, I have my last one, which is
Hold on. Before you do your last one, I'm going to do my last one just so I don't have to talk so much at the end of the show. If that's okay with you, it'll be really quick.
okay.
Does that work for you?
I wasn't gonna say that much.
No. Only because I didn't want it to sound like I was ending the show on me.
okay.
That's why. Bodies was my last one. We watched this earlier this year. Again, this movie would have killed had it come out September, October, because
It would have killed.
it was so funny. It's so modern and meta and of its time. And I think like so many of the different films that we've spoken about today, it's a horror film that is doing something completely different from what you're used to in the genre, but still contributing and being part of it. So I know that one that we loved, and it's hilarious as well too.
Absolutely.
It's just really, really great. Anthony, please take us home.
My last one is kind of like a comedy Halloween type of thing, and it's Ernest Scared Stupid.
Of course.
It's just a fun film.
Yeah.
And it just brings you back to your childhood. If you've ever watched Ernest, go and watch him. I'm not too sure where you can watch it, but go watch Scared Stupid. It's just a funny horror film, and it's fun. And Ernest is a great character. Who the guy who played him was
Tom Sizemore.
No,
I wasn't.
It was Jim Varney.
Jim Varney. He did Slinky.
Yeah.
Slink.
Rest in peace.
But
So the Ernest films were Touchstone Pictures, so they're really not on any.
I remember they'd be on the Family Channel all
the time. Yeah,
yeah,
They'd all be on.
and
the
I
Family
think that's
Channel.
where I watched majority of them.
Yeah,
But they were
definitely,
like a little
definitely.
bit of a kids but / mature vibe to it as well. But just fun, fun.
I've never seen it, but I should definitely watch it.
We should watch it together.
We should watch it. It would be fun.
It'll be fun.
It would be fun. I agree. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Movie Podcast. I'm really hoping it doesn't take us 2 months to do another one
No,
together.
we shouldn't. Because
No.
we can't let this banter die.
No, the Banter will never die. Look, we said we wanted to go an hour. Today we went an hour and 42 minutes.
I knew we
so
would.
far.
Oh my
I
gosh.
knew we would.
I know.
knew
Only
we would.
because this is the first time we've been together recording an episode, and we're just catching up on a lot. The first
Rock.
40 minutes of this show is us talking about
Love.
Dwayne Johnson and God of War and everything
Yes.
like that. So there's a lot we covered this episode. Thank you so much for joining us again. As always, you can catch a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday, and watch out throughout the week for our review episodes and our interviews and all the latest movies and series. We are heading into Black Panther Wakanda Forever season. So look forward very, very soon for our review, maybe some fun interviews. There's lots going on, so you don't want to miss any of it. Also, we're going into the Christmas season and in November and December, so we're going to have a lot of fun activities and events planned, hopefully. So stay tuned for all of that. And of course, if you want to get a whole month free of amazing cinema, check out our show notes for our promo code for Mubi. We're so excited to be working with them, and we hope we can continue down the road. So stay tuned for all of that and more. Join us on Discord. What's our Discord, Shay? What's the question of the week right now?
Our question of the week this week was, what's an actor or actress whose movie that you watch regardless of their Rotten Tomato score or reviews?
Okay. If you want to answer that question, you got to join our Discord. So check out their show notes below for our Discord link. Join in. We're having some great conversations in there. And if you want to write into the show, of course, hello at TheMoviePodcast.ca. That's all we got for you this week. You'll tune in later this week for our interview with Jacqueline Byers and Daniel Stam for Pray for the Devil. And then on Friday, we'll have a review of Armageddon Time. So look forward to all of that. That was this time with The Movie Podcast.
And we'll see you next.